Today, ribs on the Traeger and Oklahoma Joe. Who's gonna win? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name's Kevin, and today we are doing a showdown on ribs. Who doesn't love ribs? It is Labor Day weekend. We're gonna put these ribs to the test by Traeger versus Oklahoma Joe. Editing Kevin here. Don't forget to stay to the very end because I'm gonna go over some important information regarding these smokers, especially if you're thinking about buying one. Real quick, a couple show notes. You know the drill. Which one should I buy is the question we are answering through this series. So if that's a question you have and you haven't seen all the videos, make sure to go down to the description and click on the Traeger versus Oklahoma Joe playlist. Or at the very end of the video, I'll have it right up there. Okay, so I'm just gonna stick to throwing these on. We'll get to the tasting and decide a winner, and then we'll move on. This Traeger versus Oklahoma Joe, we are about 5 or 6 videos in. I'm going to do a part 2 of which one should I buy kind of review halfway through these cooks. Then I have a few more cooks planned out, and then I'll make my final decisions. As far as these ribs go, I am trying to keep this super low and slow on a low temperature to get the smoke rolling. Now, some of this is the pellets. Right now, you can definitely smell the pellet aroma that the Oklahoma Joe is pushing off. They're both using hickory wood pellets. The Traeger is pushing out a lighter blue smoke. As you can see, it's not burning through quite this level, obviously. Look at this thing. This thing's puffing away. This thing's just slow and steady. I'm gonna be doing 3-2-1 or 2-2-1, depending on my time constraints today. It is Labor Day. I do wanna enjoy this day, but I wanted to get this question answered. Which one does ribs better? Couple really quick show notes. Preparing the ribs, I wanted to trim them up so they both looked pretty much identical. The other thing I did, which most people don't, and I've done it before and I'm showing you how to do it. If you keep your temperature super low, under 235 to 245, you can add the brown sugar, or in this case coconut sugar, right off the bat. It's going to be okay. All right, because you're not going to get to that burning temperature because we're trying to keep this 225 and below, and we want to get 2 to 3 hours of smoke. And then we're going to wrap them, probably pour a little bit of beer in that wrap, and then we're going to finish them off that final hour with unwrapped, a little barbecue sauce, and we're going to make them delicious. So that is the recipe we're following today.
a slightly different mouthfeel to it.
A little tougher.
A little
more bite to it.
Bit, yeah, right. It's got more texture to it. A hint of spice on it.
Like one more than the other?
I like them both.
Wow.
But you're taking home eggs anyway.
Holy moly.
Depending on what
You're going to make $1 billion. Delicious.
You like one better than the other?
No. It's pretty hard to distinguish. They're both great.
Cool. I'm your wife. I'm a tough critic.
Yep.
Oh, fall off the bone, literally.
Yeah.
That one.
You like the second one best?
I do. What's the difference? You
That's
can tell us.
Oklahoma Joe.
Oklahoma Joe?
And the first... I'm just totally stoked about this whole day, this whole experiment. Right when I was getting it started, I was like, you know what? I'm just ready to sell both these, the Traeger and the Oklahoma Joe. I was just... I like my offset smoker too much. I want to sell these. And as soon as I said that and I got it fired up, it was just one of those things where it was super easy and it made me remember why people buy these. You just click a button. I had a fiddle with the Oklahoma Joe, and we're going to get into that in just a second here. But I was able to go to the pool, enjoy this Labor Day without laboring all day over a hot grill. So it reminded me, as you can see with the tasting, it was a very, very close. However, there was a winner. Oklahoma Joe. Oklahoma Joe, are you kidding me? All right, this is the machine that's been giving me nothing but problems. And today, I did have some problems. We're gonna get into that. But today I set it on 200 or the low setting, and it just was this machine of smoke. It just kept pushing out smoke. I woke up this morning and I was like, there is no way in hell Traeger is losing this one. And Oklahoma Joe just was like, hold my beer, I'm gonna do this. And it did. So the big difference is Traeger just seemed dried out. It was super weird because the seasonings, everything was exactly the same. But the outcome was the Oklahoma Joe just had a juicier, more moist rib. Strange. For a real apples to apples comparison, these things were dead ringers the whole time. They were within 5 to 10 degrees of each other. It was kind of crazy. Let's talk about Oklahoma Joe, because I did have, even though it won, I did have some issues with it. While my hoppers were starting up, the Oklahoma Joe just cut off out of nowhere. Yeah, that's right, just dead out of nowhere. I clicked the on button, clicked the off button, on, off, on, off, off. Switching the dial, it was just not coming to life. And then finally, I unplugged the extension cord, gave it 10 seconds, plugged it back in, clicked it. Thank God it fired right back up. And there was still some embers going of pellets, so I was able to fire it up. So what to do about that? If you are thinking about buying an Oklahoma Joe, there are a bunch of people that I've heard from that say they have had zero problems with it. But then there's a whole group of other people that say they have had problems with it. Go for it, get it, but just know that you might have to call customer service within a few weeks, if not right away, to get a switchboard or some piece of technology switched out on that. Is that frustrating? Absolutely. Like I said, we've talked about this first iteration. Hopefully they get it right the next time around. But I've heard that they will send you the part you need and you will get up and running and be rocking and rolling. So there you go. But there are people that get it and they have zero problems from the comments that people have left me. So as far as Oklahoma Joe goes, there you have it. There are definitely hiccups. But it still won which one was better, which kind of boggles my mind, right? Why spend $1,000 when $600 is going to get you better food potentially? Now you got to remember, last week Traeger did win. So it's not every food category that Oklahoma Joe's taking the cake. But I was certain this morning that Traeger was going to win this competition. And even with the finicky Oklahoma Joe that I have, it still pulled it off. You guys check out these other videos on Traeger versus Oklahoma Joe right here and here. And if you have any videos you want me to do, you know the drill. Leave those comments below, subscribe to this channel, and turn on notifications. I'll see you next time.